Unfortunately, here in Palm Beach County, right here in Florida, for the 4th year in a row, we've been identified as the meanest state towards homelessness.
To be a place of so much affluence, so much wealth, people with so much prestige, and then to see these people turning their backs on the hurting who can't help themselves.
There's tons of ways to be homeless. I mean, you know, I've bounced from house to house, you know, not really having a place to myself for very long, or, you know, staying with friends, or, you know, sleeping on somebody's couch. I've been doing this since I was like 13. I was working for Publix, and I was actually living under an underpass. I didn't have anywhere else to go. I'd stop by my friend's house, do laundry. Nobody ever knew.
When they cut my hours back, they cut my pay, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I tried to get a roommate. That didn't work out, and that's pretty much how I ended up homeless.
It was a house fire, and at the house fire, I lost everything. I had no one. I had to stop going to school because I was no longer equipped with the dress code needed for me to attend school.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child.
People look down on you, and they talk to you like you're less than a human being.
For food, I mean, you have two options out there on the street. Either somebody gives you something to eat, buys you something to eat, or you eat in the dumpsters. If you catch people on Sunday coming from church or going to church, you're both going to get a positive response because for some reason people think that God watches them more, pays more attention to them on Sunday than he does any other day of the week.
Society doesn't want to acknowledge this other world when really it's all one world.
We go out twice a week with the homeless outreach unit from the county and go out into the field, into the homeless camps, trying to assist the county in getting homeless personnel out of the camps into some type of shelter.
They provide a place for you to live. You stay there 2 years. They give you housing. They'll help you.
We just need a facility that we can bring them regardless of what the problem is. Let them, you know, do their assessments, be it drug, alcohol, mental health, family issues, whatever the issue might be. Then they can, at that time, send them to the proper facility.
With the very few shelters that we have, you have all the nonprofit organizations that I see in the county are all using the same homeless shelters. So, you know, they're limited on their bed space. If we can shelter one person, you know, we save probably one life.
I've been with the hot team 12 times. I was dying. I can't thank them enough for what they did for me.
For every 5 that we bring in a day, there's probably 10 more that just became homeless that same day.
The greatest need right now is to have a place for those that are literally on the streets. The numbers of people becoming homeless are growing daily, and so we have to have homeless resource centers throughout our communities.
When your parents kick you out because you're 18 and you had a baby, you have nowhere to go, you have nowhere to go.
I think the living arrangements at most shelter homes is what really scare people off.
Some places would take pregnant women with no kids. Some places would take families, but not pregnant women. I ended up actually at Westgate Tabernacle.
If you're on drugs or alcohol or you're abused in domestic violence or something, there's a place for you. But if you lose your job, you fall through the cracks, you lose your apartment, if you get sick, go to the hospital, get out, there's nowhere for you to turn, you've lost your apartment, there's no programs out there for them.
When I did go to Westgate, a lot of people was telling me that, you know, that they can come take my kids because I was there. But that's the only place that I knew I can go and, you know, have a roof over my kids' head. But that's the scariest part when, if, you know, basically if you're homeless, you know, the state to come take your kids.
And we're constantly getting them admonished by the county concerning the fact that we're taking care of these people, but if we weren't taking care of them, they'd be in abandoned cars and abandoned houses and sleeping in dumpsters and sleeping in people's backyards. The Bible, the Word of God says it's the church's responsibility to take care of the widows and the orphans. But we relegate that away to the government And when we do that, we give up a great opportunity that God has provided for us. We put the tent up and all the men 55 and younger go out in the tent every night. The rooms are full of women and children, and we have more women and children than we have space to put them in. So we have to put them outside on medical mats and mattresses each night. But the people that have no advocate and have nowhere to turn and have no one to help, Westgate is everything. Westgate is maybe the grain of sand in the oyster that's creating the irritation to produce a pearl for the homeless here in this county.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
We just want our community to embrace those homeless neighbors and look to their hearts and see how we can help them in many more creative ways.
People don't realize that homelessness can happen to anybody. You know, they look at a homeless person like, well, that would never happen to me. So many people in America are just one paycheck away, you know, from being homeless.
There needs to be a compassion that the community says, you know, this is not a government problem. This is not a church problem. This is a community problem. We all need to help.
Get over the stereotypes of what homeless people are. I mean, the best way is to educate the people about the situation here in Florida. You know, so just raising the awareness of people. I mean, some of us are educated, some of us gone to college. We've all had jobs. At one time we were neighbors. We're just not who you think we are.
You got to have a heart for this job because you got to understand that those people that are homeless are human just like you.
When you go through something, they kind of set you back and you kind of feel like, what am I gonna do? And you know, it's a lot of negativity that runs through your mind. And when you actually get something good out of that, you realize that, okay, I did this before, I'm in a whole nother level, I could keep moving up.
I have a job that I've had for 2 years now. I've got a car, I got a driver's license, I got my own place to live, and March 11th will be 3 years clean.
If I had $1 million, I would build a facility myself. You know, nobody should be homeless. I've been in the military now 28 years, and I've been in a lot of different countries and seen how a lot of people live. And you know, you just never think you'll see it in your own back door.
Just never give up. I think that's the best advice, just to never give up. 'Cause that's what I did. I never gave up, and I'm still not giving up.